Dr. Elena Carter worked feverishly, her hands moving with a precision born of desperation. Every second counted, and she knew it. Her lab, once pristine and orderly, was now a chaotic mess of scattered papers and equipment. The disarray mirrored the turmoil in her mind. Empty vials littered the counters, testaments to countless failed attempts. Each failure weighed heavily on her, but she couldn't afford to stop. She hadn't slept in days, her eyes red and weary. The exhaustion was overwhelming, but the stakes were too high to rest. The relentless throbbing in her head mirrored the chaos engulfing the world outside. The pressure was immense, but she pushed through the pain. The virus, a horrifying plague that reanimated the dead, had swept across the globe with terrifying speed. It was unlike anything humanity had ever faced. Cities were overrun, transformed into graveyards of shambling, hungry corpses. The world as she knew it was gone, replaced by a nightmare. Elena, once a respected CDC virologist, now felt like a lone soldier on a battlefield already lost. The isolation was crushing, but she held on to a sliver of hope. Her research offered a glimmer of hope, a vaccine, a way to fight back against the relentless tide of death. It was a fragile beacon in the darkness, but it was too late for most. The streets were empty, desolate, filled only with the echoes of what once was. The last message from the CDC was a desperate plea, a request for more time she didn't have. The urgency in their words was palpable, time that was running out for everyone. The countdown had begun, and Elena knew that every second brought them closer to the end. Sergeant Marcus Hayes had seen his fair share of hell. Years of combat had hardened him, taught him to survive, but nothing could have prepared him for this. The world had descended into a nightmare. His unit, decimated, was now a small band of survivors. They stumbled upon Dr. Carter's hidden lab, a beacon in the growing darkness. The scientist, pale and exhausted, held a vial filled with a green liquid, the vaccine. Their mission transported it to a safe zone, a haven rumored to have the facilities for mass production. The fate of humanity rested on their shoulders.
I've taken an oath to protect and serve. This is my new battlefield. The journey ahead will test our courage, our loyalty, and our humanity.
Their journey was a constant fight for survival, a relentless battle against the odds. Hordes of undead, drawn by the scent of living flesh, were a constant threat. The night brought no respite, as the creatures seemed to multiply in the darkness. But the living were often more terrifying. Human nature, twisted by desperation, revealed its darkest sides. Desperate scavengers, ruthless gangs, and heavily armed militias, all vying for control in the crumbling world. The struggle for resources turned friends into foes. They encountered other survivors, some friendly, some hostile. Trust was a rare commodity, and alliances were fragile. Jax, a young mechanic, proved invaluable with his skills. His ability to repair and maintain their vehicles often made the difference between life and death. Maria, a doctor, tended to their wounds and offered a calming presence. Her medical expertise was a beacon of hope in their darkest hours. Each member of the group bore the scars of loss, haunted by memories of the world before. The weight of their pasts was a constant burden.
We have to stick together. Unity was their only strength in a world that had fallen apart. This vaccine is our only hope. It represented a chance to rebuild, to reclaim what was lost.
Every step we take, every encounter, it all comes at a cost. The journey was fraught with peril, and every decision carried weight. But we can't give up now. The stakes were too high, and the hope of a better future kept them moving forward.
Their shared goal, the delivery of the vaccine, bound them together. It was a mission that transcended personal survival. But the road tested their limits, pushing them to the brink of despair. Every obstacle seemed insurmountable, yet they pressed on. Trust was fragile, and every encounter, every mile traveled, came at a cost. The journey was a crucible, forging bonds and testing their resolve. The militia ambush came at nightfall, catching everyone off guard. The darkness was their ally, shrouding their movements and making it nearly impossible to see where the next attack would come from. Outnumbered and outgunned, they fought with the ferocity of cornered animals. Every shot fired was a desperate attempt to survive, every scream a testament to their will to live. Jax, with his quick thinking, rigged a diversion, giving them a chance to escape. He knew that a moment's hesitation could mean the difference between life and death. But the victory was short-lived. The group, though momentarily safe, knew that the danger was far from over. They had to keep moving, keep fighting. As they limped towards their destination, Jack succumbed to a bite sustained during the fight. His strength waned with each step, the infection spreading rapidly through his body. The infection, swift and merciless, took hold. It was a cruel reminder of the world they now lived in, where even the smallest wound could be fatal.
Don't stop. Deliver the cure, no matter the cost. Jax's voice, though weak, carried a weight of determination and urgency.
His sacrifice, a stark reminder of the ever-present danger, left a gaping hole in their hearts. They mourned not just the loss of a comrade, but the loss of hope. Betrayal came from within their ranks. Trust, once a given, was now a fragile thing, easily shattered by fear and desperation. One of the survivors, driven by fear and desperation, attempted to steal the vaccine, hoping to barter it for safety. The act was a betrayal of the highest order.
I can't believe it. How could you betray us like this? The words were filled with a mix of anger, hurt, and disbelief.
Marcus, his trust shattered, was forced to make an impossible choice. The weight of leadership bore down on him, demanding a decision that no one should ever have to make. The encounter, a brutal reminder of humanity's capacity for both good and evil, left them shaken to their core. They were reminded that in this new world, survival often came at a great cost.